Okay, when people think of paid family leave, they often think of a parent taking time off to work to bond with a newborn. But a new study out of Stanford University examines the benefit of Californians' paid family leave program, which allows people to take time off work to care for loved ones in a medical emergency.
Our political reporter Morgan Reiner joins us now with exactly what the study found. Morgan.
Well, you know the saying, as goes California, so goes the nation. California was the very first state to enact paid family leave nearly 2 decades ago, and since then, 11 states and D.C. have followed suit. This new Stanford study examines the significant impact of that program, a program that has plans to expand itself.
Catherine Witchett is an attorney at Legal Aid Work, a nonprofit in San Francisco which provides free legal services for workers.
So we get over 1,000 calls on our work and family helpline every year. And generally their questions are, how can I take time off to take care of my spouse who is going through chemo or to bond with my brand new baby?
She said California makes answering that question easy. You do have a right to take time off. You do have a right to return to work afterwards.
So that they know they're not just asking for a favor to be able to take time off because they're pregnant, or asking to take time off to bond with their new child isn't a kindness from their employer, but it's something that they have the right to.
Maya Rawson-Slater is an associate professor of health policy at Stanford University and one of the authors of the new study.
We find that access to state-level paid family leave allows the wives, the healthy wives of these individuals that experience health events, to keep working. So they're much less likely to report leaving their jobs for the purposes of caring for family.
10% of women nationally do not return to work when they have to care for a loved one in a medical emergency. In California,
the exact number is 7 percentage point reduction in the likelihood that they leave their jobs.
California's paid family leave program is set to expand again in 2025. Lower income workers will get to keep 90% of their paycheck when they take time off, as opposed to the current 60 to 70%.
I asked about what happens to the 10% of women after they decide to leave the workforce. The Stanford study, they told me that their study does not follow those women once they decide to make that decision. But Rawson-Slater did tell me that there's already a handful of studies after that show that paid family leave does equal financial stability. So she said it's safe to assume that for many of those 10% of women that decide to make that decision, they may face financial hardship.
Morgan, do you have to work at a company for a certain amount of time in order to qualify for paid family leave?
Well, you must have paid into the system, right? So generally speaking, you must have worked for an employer about 5 to 18 months prior to making that decision to take time off. Now, we've put a link on the website, cbs8.com, so you can see if you qualify and how to apply.
Making a difference in families' lives.
Yeah.
Morgan Reiner reporting for us. Thanks, Morgan.